sometimes we say things that we don't mean, and you know what I mean by that. There's people that say they apologize and patch things up with whether it's family member or friend that they had issues with, and sometimes I feel like some people don't mean it, and when they do that, it's like those people are like already on their deathbed, and they're about to go away. And there's times that people that do try to make things up. Sometimes a little too late because sometimes we're not, you're not there to see what happens. You weren't there for them, and you weren't there, to check up on them on their last few moments or speak with them, and sometimes people do have to take that in their grave, and sometimes people are in denial. Because I know there's people that always want to be right, and, instead of patch things up, because I think everyone in this world has that problem. Sometimes we always want to be right, but sometimes we're not always right, and we say some things in life, and we wish we didn't mean things, or we try to get to know more about them. We mess things up in life, and sometimes we lose that friendship or bond and stuff. But like I said, even though I never dealt with stuff like that, but I know there's people who has experienced that, and sometimes it brings them down, and sometimes they say things that they wish they could have done, or they try say things that they miss about them sometimes in the end, or not. Sometimes there's people that do talk bad about them as well, because that they left them behind, but in the end sometimes like we don't know where life will take us with, and we don't know when our timers are up. And like I said, and I know many people struggle that, and sometimes people don't think their words mean something, even if it's fixing things up and trying to apologize and make the right thing. And sometimes we might be wrong in life, and sometimes we would want ourselves to be, like I said, always be right, but it's not always the case. If it were us, like the people that were on our deathbed, we want people to check up on us, and talk to them and fix things up, and find and get die peacefully, or not worried about the outcome, knowing that someone passed. Because I know there's people that have struggled, and they can't overcome those problems, because they have to face it too, because of either the one they didn't patch things up and fix things the way they were meant to be, or they didn't have the opportunity to speak with them even if they wanted to. Or not, it's time like time flies, and people will come back to those moments and think that, man, what did I do wrong? Or how can I accept this, knowing that my behavior was wrong? Or those people might say that maybe those people don't deserve it, and that they are rude and stuff, and they're the problem and not me. But sometimes it's like I said, sometimes you have to be the bigger person. Either when you don't like it, but still. Because imagine if it were someone did that to you as you pass and go, and you wanted those people's forgiveness, and you wanted them to be part of your life, but it's already too late, because you didn't make things right, and you didn't apologize, and you saw the type of person that you were. Because like I said, things always happen for a reason, and there's things that always come back. I'm not trying to be rude to anyone or make them feel like they should be angry. No, I just want you to take the time and think of what I'm saying. That's it. I'm not gonna ask for anything else. And like I said, I know might be this might be a hard topic to understand, because sometimes, like I said, sometimes we're in denial, and I get that, because like I said, there's times in my life that I have always wanted to be right, but yeah, I'm wrong. Or not, there might be another person that be the wrong. But in the end, we're all humans. We all make mistakes, and sometimes like I said, sometimes when someone dies and we can't fix things or like the problems of the situation, whether it's family or a friend, that we're stuck with that. And sometimes like we look back and as we as our life continue, we look back and think that how can I do this? What kind of person I was, and think. And sometimes it's hard for people to to overcome things and stuff like forgetting someone's passing, knowing that they didn't fix things right or not, knowing that the person you might have heard of them, but yeah, they always want to feel loved and cared about. And sometimes people feel like they're all alone and they don't have anyone, or they might have someone, but at the same time like they didn't have that bond anymore, knowing that they may talk good about the person how they were, but in the end the outcome is always different. And there's people who throw their emotional weight towards someone. If you have a sibling, those people who have siblings, sometimes when you have like a sibling and they're there for your parent or your friend or check up on things and stuff, and they want to make things right, then sometimes you're kind of jealous knowing that your relationship with that person didn't work out, like that bond and stuff. And sometimes you don't have that same mentality as your other sibling, knowing that things were not easy for you and things were always hard. And sometimes we say there's people that say things and stuff, try to talk good about people that they lost, but it's already too late, because there's people who think that their last few minutes of words meant something, but they always have pain, and they carry that emotional weight, and sometimes they throw the emotional weight towards their sibling or the friend that they have or relative. Like I said, it could be anyone, and it makes things hard for people too, as well. And I'm not gonna belittle people and stuff like this, because in the end, I have no right to. I have zero right to talk bad about people if they couldn't patch things up. And at the same time, like I said, I know I'm not a perfect person as well. And there's things that take me to my grave, and I mean it too. Because in the end, like I said before in my other videos, I do take it to my grave. And not only that, but like I said, I don't want anyone thinking that what they're doing is wrong, or that everything I'm saying seems like I'm being rude to that person, because I'm not. Like I said, I just want you to think that sometimes it's better to apologize and fix things up now than never, because sometimes we might not know when those people go away, and we might lose them forever, knowing that they could die anytime, any day. It could be a random accident without ever anyone knowing, and that's what I mean.